You're the spitting image of your father, Kushina chuckled, caressing Naruto's whisker marks. And he punches harder than me too, Minato grunted, still clutching his stomach. Naruto wiped away more tears. Sorry about that, but you deserved it. Why didn't you hit your mother then too? Minato pouted. Because I know better if Jiraiya's stories are anything to go by, Naruto retorted, eyes red. Kushina smiled. He's taught you well. We chose your godfather well. Naruto just stared at his parents. Alive, for the most part. He couldn't sense their chakra, meaning they were merely spirits. The other Jinchuriki, who were a short distance away, were the same. Naruto said a silent thank you to Hagoromo, his mother pulling him close again. We've been watching you all this time. You've done so much, suffered, all because of us. Words cannot express how sorry we are. Kushina broke into tears, Minato stifling his own. Naruto looked away. You did what you had to. If you hadn't sealed Kurama inside me, more people would have died. Myself too. Everything after that wasn't your fault. I brought it on myself. Minato rested a hand on his shoulder. At least you have friends who've helped you along the way. I almost forgot! You have a girlfriend, don't you? Kushina realized, eyes sparkling. That Haku is a fine woman. You chose well, even if she isn't like me like I'd hoped. Naruto chuckled. I wish you could meet her. She's just so amazing, and she's been able to put up with me all these years. Minato smiled. In that way you take after your mother. I'll admit she was a feisty one. Hey! It's part of my charm, Kushina retorted. Naruto leaned closer. I want to hear everything about you two. Everything I can. This'll be my only chance to know what my parents were like. Kushina wiped away more tears. Don't worry then. We have plenty to talk about. Shinobi Forces Medical Camp. Same time. We've got another group on the way. A sensor ninja informed the medics inside the tent. Send the worst inside, Sakura ordered. The others can be handled outside. Sakura returned to her work, healing the broken leg of a shinobi. Around her, moans of pain echoed in her ears. Learning to ignore it was one of the first things she was taught as a medic. She moved from patient to patient, healing them as best as she could. As the best medic in this camp, she had to conserve chakra for the most serious injuries. Chakra recovery pills only did so much, and they only had so many. Sakura didn't want to delve into her stored chakra reserve just yet. The war had only just begun. They couldn't afford to run out of chakra, or supplies yet. They're here, Sakura, the guard outside the tent informed her. Multiple wounded stepping in with help from the other medics. Sakura continued to work, healing everyone well enough to move. The other medics finished the job before the shinobi exited the tent. Once everyone in their group was fixed, they would return to the battlefield. More just arrived. Sakura took a deep breath, eating a chakra pill before returning to work. Midway through, she heard the drawing of a kunai. She turned. The eyes of the young shinobi clouded. Without thinking, Sakura punched him, sending him flying through the tent wall. Seconds later, the man's body changed into a white mass. Zetsu, Sakura cursed. Send this information to everyone. White Zetsu is now mimicking our own people. They have no discernible difference in their chakra compared to us humans. We don't know how to tell if a person is Zetsu or not, so remain vigilant, even around fellow shinobi. If you can confirm someone is real, then don't allow yourself to be separated. Zetsu no doubt replaces us whenever the original is killed. If bodies are found, inform all other companies. The messenger nodded, Sakura ordering for the tent to be fixed, while she returned to healing. This just got a lot worse for them all. This just got a lot worse for them all. Spirit Realm, 2 days later. Naruto held back laughter. His parents had a lot of stories. It felt like they'd been talking for eternity, but in the back of his mind, Naruto knew he was running out of time. He felt his mind slipping away, returning to the real world. Hagoromo's changes to his body were almost complete. Kushina and Minato knew this too. Their spirits were being called away. They were all silent for a while, another wave of tears coming over Naruto. I wish I could stay longer. I wish I could talk with you forever, Naruto stuttered. Kushina smiled. We'll be watching, and you better not see us again. I expect you to live a long life, my son. Both you and Haku, Minato added, pulling his wife and son into a tight hug. We will, I promise, said Naruto, feeling his hand slip through his parents' bodies. I'll tell Jiraiya and Kakashi you said hi, and we'll do the same for Hiruzen, Minato nodded. Kushina ruffled her son's hair one last time, her hand disappearing. Minato did the same, until they were gone. Naruto stared at the blank space, hoping to catch just one more glimpse. After a while, he knew it wouldn't happen. His cheeks were stained red, his tears spent. The blonde composed himself, looking down to see his own body starting to vanish. Looks like we won't get to talk much, Fu grumbled, the Jinchuriki surrounding Naruto. His family is more important than us, Roshi said. Yes, and besides, our spirits aren't going to disappear, Han added. What does that mean? Naruto asked. Our bodies are currently being used through a jutsu, the reanimation jutsu, I believe it's called, Utakata explained. Naruto frowned. Orochimaru, no doubt. How dare he use you guys like this? Unfortunately for him, you have us to help you, Naruto. We can help you defeat ourselves, Yugito stated. Didn't he already beat you once? Yagura muttered. You're one to talk, Mizukage. You're a village leader, and that kid still beats you, even when being controlled. That's different, Yagura snapped, Fu nudging his shoulder. The former Kage sighed. Even so, I should thank you, Naruto Uzumaki. Because of you, Zabuza and Haku, the danger I posed to my people was removed. Naruto nodded. I'm sorry it had to result in your death. Death is a guarantee of life. It was bound to happen eventually. I'm simply glad it brought about some good for the Hidden Mist. Granted, it's also a reason this war is currently being waged. Naruto frowned. I won't let the villages fall. I won't let us lose. That's a promise. I have no right to ask you of this, but will you help me? The Jinchuriki didn't need to deliberate. Fu jumped up and down to answer for them. Of course we will. It's not like we have anything better to do. Fu was right. We may have already given our lives, but if there is more we can do, then we shall give it our all, Yugito smirked. For our village, Han and Roshi agreed. For family and friends, Utakata nodded. For world peace! Fu shouted, the Jinchuriki breaking into laughter. Naruto laughed along with them, even as his body faded away. After a moment of silence, he was back in his own body. He looked at his hands. They felt different. He looked around to find Hagoromo in the same position as before. As your friends on the other side explained, you shall be able to communicate with them, so long as their bodies are being used as puppets. Naruto looked at his hands again. Have you given me your power? Yes. Your body is now ready, Naruto Uzumaki, but is your mind? Naruto nodded firmly. The Sage of Six Paths smiled. Then go forth and fulfill your promises, Naruto. I shall be watching and waiting eagerly. Naruto smiled, his chakra surging as he opened his eyes. Killer Bee sat in front of him, Yamato watching from the sidelines. Both jumped when golden chakra enveloped the blonde. Naruto slowly stood, looking up at nothing. His eyes widened, lips curling into a frown. I take it you've mastered the fox? Yamato slowly asked. More than that, Naruto stated. B, we need to go. Now. The allied shinobi forces need us. I sense that Obito and Orochimaru are on the move. If you like what you just heard, consider hitting the subscribe button and bell icon to get notified about new videos. If there's a part you've missed, then check out the entire playlist on screen. If you like this story, please share it with your fellow anime lovers. Any support helps a lot. That's all for now. This is Ninja Kai, disappearing in a golden flash.